In the space of a day, you went from thinking, I might be standing outside number 11, to I'm redundant.
Politics is a brutal business, and it's tough. As Robin Day famously said, us politicians can be here today, gone tomorrow, and that's what happens. But in the end, the reason is because we live in a democracy. And in a democracy, the people decide. And however tough it is for us individual politicians, especially if you're fighting a marginal seat like mine, you can be here today and gone tomorrow. And that is democracy. So in the end, although it was hard for me, I'm a symbol of the vibrancy of our democracy.
Many people thought you were about to be Chancellor of the Exchequer. Did you, even on Thursday night?
We knew that it was really close, and before that exit poll, all the opinion polls said the election was on a knife edge. And I'm not sure whether I thought it was more than 50%, but I thought it was a real possibility. And so to go from that through the exit poll, that swing to the Conservatives through to losing my seat over 7 hours. I mean, in 2010 I held on. I think in 2015 the Tories were as surprised as I was.
You knew for hours that you might lose, but certainly not days. So when did you first realise, this is it? I'm going to lose my seat, I'm gone.
I didn't know that I was actually going to lose my seat until the returning officer gave us the result at 7:30 in the morning. So I had hours of uncertainty. And by the time it came to my speech, what happened in the country was a much bigger sense of sorrow to me than anything personal. That wasn't the issue for me.
You must ask yourself again and again why. And this is a hard question. But do you ever look at yourself and think, maybe Ed Balls was one of the reasons Labour was unelectable?
Of course. I mean, Ed Miliband said straight after the election that he took full responsibility, but all of us have to bear our share of the responsibility. Ed was the leader. I backed him as Shadow Chancellor 100%. In the end, he didn't persuade people he could be the Prime Minister, but I didn't persuade people I could be the Chancellor either. We have to take that on the chin.
Labour spending. Not did spending cause the crash, but did spending too much mean that you weren't prepared for the after effects of the crash?
Well, before 2007, it's a matter of record that we had a low level of national debt because of the decisions we made, but also we had a small deficit. And there people will now say that that small deficit should have been a small surplus. The reality is that would have made a small difference, not a big difference.
You say you backed Ed Miliband 100%. There were issues. There are in any government or shadow government where you had your disagreements. Are there any you want to reflect on now? You argued about Labour's attitude to business, I know. You had your doubts about that energy price freeze, for example. Are those lessons you want the party to learn?
I think I wanted to be more pro-business, but I also backed Ed Miliband 100%. He was the leader, I was the Shadow Chancellor. We both worked very hard, and in the end, neither he or I persuaded people, and we have to take our responsibility for that.
Just to clarify, no by-elections?
No by-elections.
No House of Lords?
Look, out of politics is how I'm thinking about things at the moment.
Not running a think tank?
Look, you never say never about anything, because who knows what's going to happen. It's only been a couple of weeks, but I think the reality for me now is I want to make a difference to the world outside of politics. That's how I'm thinking about things. I'm not going to be dashing back. I've been thinking about and writing about economics for 20 years, and there's really big issues out there. What's happening to secular stagnation? Is the financial system sound? The development challenge, which is pushing migrants into Europe. These are things where, for the first time, there's real time to stand back and think and write a bit, and that's what I'm doing.
The big question everybody says I've got to ask you, strictly, will you take to the ballroom floor?
Well, look, 3 marathons means I'm fit, but am I really fit enough for Strictly? When you look at it, the people who succeed on Strictly, they tend to be half my age and to have played international sport or been at stage school and on the stage. So I'm not quite sure if I'm quite equipped for Strictly.
Now, you mentioned the leadership contest. There are a lot of candidates. Presumably you're struggling to think who to support.
Well, I'm going to be supporting and voting for a vet, of course. I think she's brilliant, and I think people will have a chance to see more of what she is and what she stands for and what she can do in the coming weeks. I'm not going to play any part in her campaign. That's her campaign, and they're her ideas, and it's not for me. And I've got the opportunity at the moment, as I said, at a time when there's other stuff going on in our lives and for our children, to stand back and, while she's busy, to do more to help the rest of the family. And so that's what I'm going to do. But in politics, you have to take your calling when it comes, and that's what she's doing.
This is the moment for her.
Yeah.